was started by 5 American stars led by Megan Rapinoe and Alex Morgan. The settlement is a victory for the players who sparked fans to chant equal pay when they won their second straight World Cup title in France 2019. The struck deal is about 1/3 of what they had sought in damages. Among the arguments that the United States Soccer Federation made against the women were the claims that it took more skill to be a male soccer player and that the female team generated less money and publicity. Morgan and Rapinoe say the settlement sets a precedent for equal pay among women in other industries.
It is a huge win for us, for women's sports, for women in general, and it's a moment that we can all celebrate right now.
Justice comes in the next generation, never having to go through what we went through. It's equal pay across the board from here on out.
U.S. women have won 4 World Cups since the program started in 1985, while the men haven't reached the semifinals since 1930.
The mountains of Montana are stunning to witness, unless they're key to your business.
Pretty straightforward. Our winter's been pretty easy. Kind of a catch-22 coming off the drought from last year. We look up in the mountains and there's no snow up there, so.
Garrett Ham is among the tens of thousands of farmers who just weathered one of Montana's driest years on record. He is among the millions of farmers in America facing some stress from someplace. And, like the vast majority, he doesn't plan to address his stress with outside help.
I mean, there's really not much they can do other than talk to you face to face, have a good outlet to talk to you, but your day-to-day problems, they're not going to fix them.
The mountains aren't just natural wonders. They're roadblocks.
If I wanted to go into town, it's minimum 45 minutes. You know, depending on what time of the year, it'd be twice as long to get somewhere.
We can talk about physical health, and there's no shame or stigma around that. So why can't we talk about mental health?
Allison Brennan is an extension mental health specialist at Montana State. She runs the state's first statewide stress management resource designed specifically for those on farms.
For at least the last 3 decades, Montana has ranked in the top 5 for rates of suicide.
The latest numbers show Montana with the 3rd highest suicide rate in the country. The states among the 10 highest are largely, if not almost entirely, rural.
Research shows there's a gender confidence gap that's causing serious implications for women in the workplace. One leadership coach is working to help women honor their authentic selves.
I'm writing the Sherohood is stronger with you. That's she plus hero plus sisterhood.
Jamie McKinney is an author, motivational speaker, and leadership coach.
Our mission is to empower women to ditch doubts, speak up, and achieve the careers they deserve and desire. Listen very carefully and very closely for those words or those phrases that are reflective of self-doubt rather than self-empowerment.
She is inspiring women worldwide and trying to lessen the gender confidence gap.
The confidence gap actually starts when women are in middle school. The sense of belonging outweighs a need for authenticity. Young women make decisions to dampen their confidence or to shrink their aspirations because they just want to fit in and they don't want somebody to say something negative about their bravery, their courage, their confidence. Well, once that seed is planted, then fast forward to the working world, and your authenticity is still in there, but if you've been practicing not speaking up or not exercising your confidence, that's now what you know.
Jamie says it's a combination of nature and nurture. Reinforced gender stereotypes mean young girls are often encouraged to play with dolls, while young boys are typically steered toward more aggressive activities. Those experiences plant a seed, which Jamie says often leads to a stark difference in one's ability to be assertive.
And I want to be very careful when talking about the genders is that it's not all men and all women, but as studies show, there are trends.
Research by the National Bureau of Economic Research found that even when their performance on a task or job is equal to a man's, women describe theirs less favorably. The impact can be quite substantial.
Men ask for raises 4 times more often than women do, and when they do, they ask for 30% more. As an isolated incident, that has a certain level of impact, but over the course of one's career, calculations show that that can equate to $1.5 million for an individual's compensation. $1.5 million simply because one didn't ask.
Jamie, who started off her career life in male-dominated fields like the automotive and oil and gas industries, wants to change that. She's been coaching women through her 3 Pillars of Leadership program. Those 3 pillars include strengthening self, communicating powerfully, and leveling up your career path. One woman who went through that training to make a difference in her life is Nora Thomas.
Confidence is definitely something I've struggled with all my life, but it didn't hit me that it was going to be this way for me in the professional world until I got out of college.
Instead of I cannot do that, it is I can do that.
She says Jamie inspired her to start her own marketing and community outreach business.
I've noticed how important it is to set goals and kind of set that standard for yourself to be like, whoa, actually, where do I want to take this? Or where can I see myself improving or, doing something with the goals that I'm setting.
Nora says a boost in confidence is helping her in all aspects of her life. She wants to encourage other women to take the same leap of faith she did to end the confidence gender gap.
We unfortunately kind of do work in a world that is run by men in a lot of aspects, which isn't a bad thing, but it's harder for women to grow, They're hitting the glass ceiling, and where are we supposed to go from there?
Jamie says she hopes to see a world where her job is no longer needed because women feeling empowered to be their authentic selves will be the standard.
Everyone is born with a certain amount of confidence, and confidence is just like a muscle in that the more you build it and condition it and flex it, the more it grows.
I'm Elizabeth Ruiz reporting.
More people and cities are coming on board with composting and recycling, but large items like furniture don't have the same effort behind them yet, and they're clogging up our landfills. The EPA says in 2018, more than 80% of furniture waste went straight into landfills. And that was pre-pandemic, before many people started reconfiguring their homes to accommodate remote working and schooling. And sometimes when the new furniture finally arrived, it wasn't quite right.
You received this sofa or this dining table, you waited a long time, it's scratched or dented, and now you want to send it back. Much of the time, what retailers decide to do is that sofa or sectional, which is almost brand new, they'll just choose to have hauled away and put into a landfill.
Chris Richter looked to solve that problem and started FloorFound. The company, which provided this video, partners with dozens of furniture retailers. When one of them has a return, FloorFound picks it up and takes it to one of their warehouses across the country where it's inspected and cleaned or repaired as needed. They then sell the piece online for a reduced price.
So we all have an option at this point to learn how to embrace resale. And it's wonderful for our pocketbooks. It's wonderful for the environment. And, it's very in line with the circular economy that I think we're all moving towards.
Clothing has been a leader when it comes to avoiding the landfill. According to apparel resale company ThredUp, the secondhand clothing market was worth $36 billion last year. The leaders at FloorFound say they believe furniture can catch up.
Good Wednesday afternoon. After a foggy start of the day, that's all cleared away and we're left with sunshine and warming temperatures. Those highs will be in the low to mid 80s this afternoon. I have a forecast of 83 in Tallahassee. That would tie a record high temperature for the day with winds out of the southwest. So early spring-like feel. Tomorrow morning, expect another round of dense fog. I would imagine those advisories will get issued for tonight. Tomorrow and Friday, almost kind of a rinse, wash, repeat forecast. Mild, foggy mornings and afternoons will be warm near record high temperatures for this time of the year. A little cool front will pass through Friday, little to no rain chance. Don't really think that we see much develop there, but it will bring a little bit of a cool down. Just break the heat up by the weekend with highs back in the 70s. Stronger cold front likely by late this weekend into Monday. That should bring some showers and then a bigger cool down for the beginning of March.
As comic book movies made their way back onto the big screen last year, comic books themselves also saw a huge growth. Sales for adult graphic novels more than doubled in 2021, and one publisher said it was their biggest year ever.
While television and production kind of shut down, the rise in reading in books and comics actually increased.
That's international comic book historian Jessica Sang. She credits the growing popularity of graphic novels to the pandemic, as well as the rise of comic book writers and artists from all over the world.
There's great comics from South America, Africa, Australia, India. I would love for more of a global love of it.
The top-selling graphic novel from the beginning of 2021 was a volume of the Japanese superhero series My Hero Academia, which was also one of the most in-demand animes of the year. Other experts say anime is one of the driving forces behind the growing popularity of graphic novels, and specifically manga from Japan. That subgenre of graphic novel saw a growth of 171% in 2021 compared to 2020. And that amounts to a little more than 24 million books sold last year.
We're on the second or third generation of people who read manga in English.
Comic book expert Deb Aoki grew up reading manga during a time when it was considered a niche genre. She says the market in the US has grown over the past couple decades, allowing more titles from Japan to be translated to English.
There's manga about food, there's manga about hockey. We've always only gotten the very tippy top of the iceberg what Japan produces, but we're starting to get more variety.
Reese started to laugh and walk away, saying, "That's why your hair is so ugly."
10-year-old Jabe Williams Hunt knows this story inside and out because she lived it. She wrote the book Why Bully Me? It's a fictionalized account of the multiple brushes with bullying she experienced in first and second grades. In the book, Jabe becomes Marie, who is bullied throughout the day at school. She says her goal is to help children who are bullied overcome tough days.
I feel good because, like I said, then other people, it will help them very, very much. And then they will, like, maybe when they read the book, they will know to never be a bully.
Right now at 5, the man accused of shooting a Taylor County deputy in the face is dead. Now Deputy Troy Anderson is in the hospital in Gainesville.
Troy is a valued employee of Taylor County Sheriff's Office. He is loved by his fellow officers. He's loved by the community. He's done a very good job for TCSO.
And tonight we are getting more information about what police say happened after Gregory Medema pulled that trigger. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ava Van Valen.
And I'm Channing Frampton. We just got this photo of the deputy into our newsroom. And right now we know Gregory Medema is accused of shooting Deputy Anderson last night during a traffic stop. Florida Highway Patrol says it happened last night around US 90 and Deer Run Road south of Salem. We've mapped it out for you here. Medema was killed this morning around 7 in the morning. The Dixie County Sheriff's Office says he tried to break into a home near Tennille. The homeowner shot and killed him. And tonight we have team coverage. Just a few minutes. Alexa Trishler tells us how the community is responding to the latest shooting last night and how that home invasion went this morning.
But first, ABC 27's Jada Williams is live in Perry and breaks down what we know right now.
Channing, Ava, law enforcement tells me that what started as a routine traffic stop soon turned violent. They say that Taylor County Deputy Troy Anderson attempted to pull over Greg Medema, but he ended up shooting him. Now, here is more of what we know. At about 7:30 this morning, Dixie County Sheriff Darby Butler says Medema broke into a house in Tennille. The suspect and the homeowner began shooting. Ultimately, Medema was killed. Sheriff Butler says his office found multiple guns and the car that Deputy Anderson pulled over at the house where the suspect was shot. He says the suspect did shoot the homeowner, but his injuries are minor.
Tragedy, and then with the efforts of not only a partnership with law enforcement, is a partnership with our communities, and to educate our communities to defend themselves. You know, when evil enters your home, you need to protect yourself, because at that point you are the first line of defense. And I stand on that, Sheriff Padgett stands on that. Until we can get there, exercise those rights and keep evil out of your homes and protect your loved ones.
That homeowner is expected to come home from the hospital today. Now, there was one other person in that house when the suspect broke in, but that person wasn't injured as of right now. 3 agencies are working together, but FDLE is taking the lead on the investigation.
And Jada, what is the condition of Deputy Anderson tonight?
Ava, the sheriffs here tell us that that deputy is in the hospital in Gainesville. He will have to undergo reconstructive surgery on his face. He was shot multiple times, but the deputies say that they are expecting that he will recover from those injuries. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you for that update, Jada. And taking a closer look, here's what we know about Medema right now. He's a registered sex offender in Sarasota County. He was convicted while serving in the Army of lewd or lascivious battery and having sex with a minor between the ages of 12 and 15. He was also convicted of 1 count of possession of child pornography. Our Scripps station WFTX says he has 2 addresses registered in Southwest Florida within the last year, one in Lehigh Acres in June and one in Fort Myers in October. Here's how we got here. Deputy Troy Anderson was shot near Salem around 10 o'clock last night. That blue alert was issued for Gregory around 11:30, about an hour and a half later. Around 7:20 this morning, a homeowner shot an intruder in Tennille, Florida, and the blue alert was canceled at 9:30 this morning.
And like you just heard, a homeowner shot and killed Medema this morning after he broke into their home. Florida's Stand Your Ground law allows the use of lethal force if you feel like your life is in danger. Tonight at 5:30, we're taking a closer look at that law and a trial that's happening right now that's using Stand Your Ground as a defense.